The project that we're going to be working on today is a project called Urban Chained by So Kind of Wonderful using their fabulous quick curve ruler. So we're going to start cutting out our curved shapes. Set that aside. So first of all, I'm going to cut out our color that we're going to be using. I'm only using a 2-color quilt, whereas they used multiple colors. You can do that, but mine is just a 2-color quilt. So I'll start by cutting out the color. You're going to line up the edge here. These were 2 registration marks here, centering this 10-inch piece of fabric underneath the ruler. Your folded edges down here, your selvage edges down here. You're going to barely clear that folded edge at the end of your 10-inch strip of fabric. And you're going to cut your first curve. I think I went all the way through. And that is just going to be waist. You're going to line up, again, your ruler between these 2 registration marks, making sure that your 10-inch strip is centered underneath the ruler. And then you're going to use this curved solid mark on the ruler as your alignment. And you just cut. And you continue across the piece of fabric until you have the whole piece of fabric cut. And I'm only using 2 layers to demonstrate here, but when I cut out a quilt, I want to make sure that I layer up as many as my blade can handle so that you're not wasting time on the cut process. You can just quickly go through several layers at once. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm just using the double layer. And there we have all of our colored pieces cut for our project. So now we're going to layer those up and set those aside. And now we're going to bring in our background pieces. I've already, this is throwaway here, I've already cut it into the 4.5-inch strips. It was a 10-inch strip. So now I've subcut it into 4.5 by 10-inch rectangles. I've already done that because everybody knows how to do that. And then I'm just going to layer all of them up here just to show you that you can go through several layers at once to cut the background. We're going to cut both background pieces at the same time that are going to go on each side of this curve. We're going to layer the edge of the ruler along the edge of the stack, making sure that we have our 10-inch mark here and here so that the ruler is centered over that rectangle. And we're just going to go in here. And I'm just going to cut all of my background pieces all at the same time. How easy was that? So now now that everything's cut out, we're going to take this over to our sewing machine. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to be sewing a piece to there and a piece to there to make our blocks. You can also cut these out using layer cakes very easily. So you can get yourself a layer cake, which is a 10-inch square, and by laying your ruler on this 10-inch square, you can get 2 curved pieces out of that, like that. And if you cut very carefully, as you can see, you can also get 2 background pieces. So you can alternate. You can make one quilt using your colored pieces, and then you can make a secondary quilt flip-flopping your background and your colored pieces. So this then would become your quilt and give it a whole different look. So when you cut out your background pieces using your layer cake, you would get a solid color layer cake as your alternate background to pair with your colored prints. And you would cut out your 4.5-inch rectangles from the layer cake. You just have a little bit of waste. And then you just pile them up and cut out your pieces, and so you'll get two different background pieces out of one layer cake. So how easy is that? So we're going to continue working on with our two-color quilt here. So stay tuned and we'll head to the sewing machine.